Warfare comes in many forms: swords and spears, plots and spies. But sometimes, salvation comes in silence, through the unexpected hand of a man no one saw coming. This is the story of Ehud, a left-handed man, sent on a mission so dangerous, so unexpected, it changed the destiny of an entire nation. But to understand Ehud's story, we must begin with Israel's fall. The people of Israel had grown comfortable. After years of peace under Othniel, the land had prospered, the fields full, the houses strong. But peace, as always, made them forget. They forgot the God who brought them out of Egypt, and began bowing to the gods of the land: Baal, Ashtoreth, the idols of wood and stone. God's heart broke. Again. So, like a father disciplining a wandering child, he allowed their enemies to rise. From the east came Eglon, king of Moab, a powerful, ruthless man. He joined forces with the Ammonites and the Amalekites and swept through Israel like a flood. The city of palms, Jericho, fell, and Israel was enslaved for 18 long years. They cried, they groaned, and at last, they remembered God. God heard, and he raised a deliverer, but not a warrior, not a prophet, not a nobleman or priest. He raised a man, named Ehud, son of Gera, from the tribe of Benjamin, ironically, the son of my right hand. But Ehud was left-handed. In those days, left-handedness was seen as a weakness, even a curse. Men like Ehud were rarely trusted. They weren't trained for war. They weren't chosen for glory. But God had a plan. When it came time for Israel to bring the yearly tribute to Eglon, a sign of their submission, Ehud was chosen to lead the mission. No one suspected what he would do. Ehud was clever. He crafted a double-edged dagger, just over a foot long, short enough to be hidden, sharp enough to kill. But he did something strange. He strapped it to his right thigh. Most warriors carried swords on their left side, drawn with the right hand. Guards searched there, but Ehud, he was different. No one checked his right leg. They didn't suspect the left-handed man. So Ehud and his men brought the tribute: grain, goods, gold. They bowed before Eglon, a man so obese that his size was legendary. The Moabite king devoured both food and power. He laughed at Israel's submission. And Ehud bowed low, hiding his eyes. The tribute delivered, Ehud and his men began to leave. But then, he turned back. He sent the others away and said to the king's guards, "I have a secret message for the king." The king, ever greedy for secrets, waved everyone out. He sat alone in his cool rooftop room, a private upper chamber, unguarded. Ehud stepped close. The doors shut behind him. "I have a message from God for you," Ehud said. The obese king struggled to rise, waddling to his feet. And in that moment Ehud reached with his left hand, pulled the dagger from his right thigh, and thrust it into Eglon's belly. The fat closed over the blade. Even the hilt disappeared into the folds of flesh. Eglon gasped, but no sound came. His servants, outside, assumed the king was relieving himself. Ehud calmly shut the doors and locked them. And then, he escaped. Ehud slipped past the guards, climbed down from the rooftop, and vanished into the fields. He ran for the hill country of Ephraim. Hours passed. The king's servants waited, embarrassed, thinking he was occupied. Finally, they opened the door. And there, slumped in silence, was the dead king, his throne turned into a tomb. But Ehud had already gathered Israel. He blew the ram's horn. And the people came, weapons drawn, spirits burning. "Follow me," he cried, "for the Lord has given your enemies into your hands." They marched. They cut off the Jordan crossings, trapping the Moabite army. And 10,000 Moabites fell, none escaped. That day, Israel was free. The land rested for 80 years, a lifetime of peace. But the story of Ehud faded in the shadows. Rarely told, rarely honored. Why? Because he didn't fit the mold. He was left-handed, quiet, a spy, an assassin. But God chooses the unexpected. He uses the broken. He calls the weak. And Ehud, he was exactly what was needed. What does this rare story tell us? 1. God uses the overlooked. Ehud's left-handedness was considered a flaw, but it became his weapon. 2. Deliverance isn't always loud. There was no army, no miracle from the sky. Just a man, a dagger, and obedience. 3. Faith requires courage. Ehud risked everything to act when the time came. Faith isn't just believing, it's stepping in. 4. God's timing is perfect. Eglon ruled for 18 years. That's a long time to wait. But when the time came, God moved swiftly. So next time you feel unseen, unfit, not enough, remember Ehud, the man no one trusted, the left-handed loner who saved a nation. Because sometimes, the hand of God moves through the least likely hand of man.